HR 8081. It's called the Disgraced Former Protectees Act. And this is their plan to imprison Donald Trump. Imprison a man that was found guilty as a judge turned to the jury and said, you don't even need to agree on all of the charges. A judge that has been weaponized against not only our president, but you and I. A first in the history of our country as our economy collapses and we are heading well into socialism. And I want to remind you, the next step after socialism is communism. Type 1 if you agree. If they can do it to him, they're going to do it to you and I. But here's the thing. I'm not going to go quietly. I'm not some simp that rides a fence to get views. I'm not some beta that turns around and says whatever people want to hear to tickle their ears for money. And I'm going to need your support more than ever soon for what I'm about to do. And I'm telling you what, your support is not your money. I will never ask you for a donation. I will never tell you I'm going to invest your money. But this plan of voting ahead of time, not in person on the day of voting, because they're going to get to mess with the numbers and you're going to be handing it to people that you don't know which side they're on. But pretty soon I'm going to be flying around the country when we're able to show up to Republican headquarters buildings and hand in our ballots to have them physically counted and stored so that your vote counts. Because I truly believe that most of the nation, even a bunch of them that voted for Democrats this last election, are saying no more. As a matter of fact, I screenshotted, and I'm going to do a video just reading the comments of how many people said, this is my nationality, this is my gender, I voted Democrat, I'm absolutely not doing that again. I see the writing on the wall. And this bill that I'm going to talk about is very scary. So the first story I'm going to go over is out of the Clarion Ledger. Trump Secret Service protection could be removed under Benny Thompson proposed legislation. And I do believe this is going to go through, and I'm going to explain that in a second. And I do believe that the judge is going to sentence our last president to jail for a specific reason, because they want him physically hurt or possibly killed. Okay? And they want the Secret Service away from him. It says Democratic congressman. Let me ask you this. Type 2 if you have been a Democrat or been voting Democrat and have decided to walk away from that party. I know there's dirty people on both sides, but this has hit a fever pitch. And then to everybody that watches this, people that type 2, I want you to congratulate them. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being very serious. I love it when people wake up to the realities of the evil in this world. I love it every time I meet one of you and you say, I'm getting ready because I know they want to hurt us. They want us all renters. They want us slaves. I don't care what your color is. I don't care what your creed is. I don't give a crap about where you came from. They want you as a slave. That's it. End of story. And if you agree with that, type 3. And the reason why I want you to type and I want you to have your voice said, because I want you pissed off. If this doesn't piss you off to no end, I don't know what will. Remember, with Obama, his press secretary, when they would film him in his kitchen and he'd have all the communist stuff behind. Bernie Sanders is a communist at heart. That's where he went to Red Square for his honeymoon. They love this crap. That's why Bernie Sanders, everybody that wanted him, is because they're voting for prosperity. He wants to usher in socialism, because the next step is communism. That's what they want. They are going to rule over you, but not if I have something to say about it. We have got to absolutely walk away. And how do we walk away? We walk away with our pocketbook. Look at how Bud Light was devastated, yet they came back because they paid off a social media influencer. Look at all these companies, Tyson getting wrecked in the stock market. When you vote with your dollars, and then we're going to vote a certain specific way well before the election, it's going to wreck them. Says Democratic Congressman Beanie, who gives a crap, Thompson from Mississippi, ranking member of the Committee on Homeland Security, introduced legislation that would remove Secret Service protection from anyone convicted of a felony and sentenced to prison. According to a news release, the Denying Infinite Security and Government Resources Allocated Towards Convicted and Extremely Dishonorable Former Protectees Act, or the Disgraced Former Protectees Act, which is numbered HR 8081. And I want you to do me a favor. Go on and Google HR 8081 and follow what's going on. Follow who is voting for this. We need them brought to light. We want them not vote. We don't want people voting for them. We are going to win this. And to anyone that would say that your vote doesn't count, when you could actually go down to your headquarters and drop it down and go, this is who I'm voting for, they're going to want to record it if you're voting their way. Then you should never watch any of my videos. You're worthless. I'm talking to people that think your vote doesn't count, yet you just don't vote. I don't vote. You're a lazy piece of garbage. And I say that in a very literal sense. Wisdom comes with age and the understanding that, you know what? Politics is important, because politics is going to shape how your children and your children's children live their lives in this country. And I'm not going to dishonor men and women that gave their lives fighting for our freedoms. So do me a favor. If you're that person who goes, your vote doesn't count, I'm not going to vote, go away. I don't want you around. Go get your government assistance and whine that life was really hard. Nobody cares. Man, I hope that woke someone up. I hope that pisses someone off so much that they start trying to prove me wrong and working hard and doing something with themselves. It says, this act, HR 8081, would reform the U.S. Secret Service's protective mission by automatically terminating Secret Service protection for those who have been sentenced to prison following conviction for a federal or state felony, clarifying that prison authorities would be responsible for the protection of all inmates, regardless of previous Secret Service protection. Unfortunately, the current law doesn't anticipate how Secret Service protection would impact the felony prison sentence of a protectee, even a former president. This is the only reason this law has been put into place. It is regrettable that it has to come to this, but this previously unthought of scenario could be our reality. Therefore, it is necessary for us to be prepared and update the law so the American people can be assured that protective status does not translate into special treatment. Let me tell you something. We have a president right now that is getting bribes. You're going to find out from other countries. There was cocaine discovered, an illegal substance, right? It's illegal in the White House. All of these heinous things. What is wrong will be right, and what is right will be wrong. Tell me where that came from. In the end days, that's what it says. Came from the Bible. And you are witnessing this right now. But here's the great news. You see, there was a surprise in the year 2016 at the last minute when a specific lady thought she'd won. They thought they had it in the bag, the cheating, but a miracle happened. Now, I want you to understand this. Please understand this. And regardless of your belief system, I dare you, before I say this, to say, I'm going to mull over what he thinks, this guy's about to say, the economic ninja. I'm going to mull it over as it could be possible, regardless of my belief system, okay? In 2016, a miracle happened because cheating has been going on in our voting system for decades and decades and decades and decades and decades. But a miracle happened when Donald Trump won, and this is why. He was chosen for a day like this because he couldn't be paid off. And he's been around all these elitists for so long, he knows what they've been up to. Another miracle is about to happen, and it's a simple stone, a simple stone. Some of my greatest achievements came from the simplest ideas. As a matter of fact, type 4 if you agree with that. So there's some things in all of our lives where it was like the simplest change, the simplest movement, the simplest just difference. So we did something that was so simple, and all of a sudden the whole world opened up to us. We are going to vote earlier than the day of the election, the day of voting. As soon as we can take our ballot, go down to the Republican headquarters, because trust me, they are going to want to document, file, protect every single ballot that has not only Donald Trump's name on it, but all of their names. And this is going to be the most amazing thing, because this is what I'm going to ask. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not asking you to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to vote in everybody new into Congress. I'm going to vote for new judges. I'm going to vote for new Congress people. I'm going to vote for Trump. Why? Because in the last 4 years when he was president, if he would have done something bad, this is the easiest logic to understand. Please understand this. They would have had proof. They would have had a video. They would have had audio. Yep. He said some crazy things that I'm going to tell you 99% of men have said before. Locker room talk in a bus. When coerced. Severely coerced. And there are all these firemen I worked with that were so offended. I'm like, well, I remember what you talked about yesterday. And then they all put their head down in disgrace, because all they're doing is trying to puff themselves up. Oh, look at this guy, what he did. I'm like, well, you haven't done anything. Your net worth is actually negative. You can't even hold on to your marriage, and you talk crappy about women, and you've said worse things. So I don't care about your thoughts. The truth is, if they would have had anything on him, they would have shown you by now. They got nothing. And right now, what they want to do is they want to see him dead. Here's the great news. My God protected Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. My God directed a stone hurled from a young man, a small young man, at the forehead of a giant, Goliath. We got this. Look, I'm here to show you about how this economic collapse goes down and how we can protect ourselves and get ready for it. And all we need sometimes is a simple stone. All you need to be is just a little prepared, because when no one else is, that's all you need. And you're going to go forth, you're going to crush it. And we're going to win. I watched 240 amazing comments from the video I did the other day from you. Amazing, heartfelt comments wiped off that video within a half 30 minutes of it happening. I'm not afraid. I'm going to declare some things, and I want you to declare them with me if you believe that way. I declare that our country is going to turn around in November. But I also know that it's going to come with a collapse in the economy sometime in the year 2025, because of all of the blinders that have been put on the American people, all of the money that has been printed. Hard times are coming, but I declare that any single person watching this video and have been getting ready will overcome all of those obstacles. It's going to get scary. It's going to get gnarly. We're going to have riots in the streets. You're going to be victorious. I declare that. If you agree, say amen down below. And you don't have to believe in God to be positive. You don't have to believe in God to understand that you are the answer right now. Every single one of you right now that are saying amen is the answer to our country's prosperity. Every single one of you that are in agreement that, yep, things are crappy, things are going to get worse, but gosh darn it, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to save, protect my finances. I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to help my friends. Yeah, you're going to get through this. And you're going to see a turnaround in your life and in your finances within 3 years that will blow your mind. We are going to do this. I'm going to get on a plane. And when we're able to start voting, I'm going to go to the hot spots. And I'm going to do specific videos that I'm going to sincerely ask you to help me by sharing them, because we're going to pinpoint the Bay Area. We're going to pinpoint Los Angeles. We're going to pinpoint places where you would think that they're all liberals. You'd think it. But I want to put it on video of 1,000 people showing up at one time to vote at a Republican headquarters and say, I'm voting for Trump. I don't know what's going to happen to the channel. But I'd rather sit all that aside and not stand in front of God as a coward. All these people on social media think they're all that. You're a fence sitter. You're lukewarm. Stop watching me. I'm the economic ninja. And every single one of you that are watching, that are part of Ninja Nation, hashtag it down below. You're people that are prepared. You're not scared. And we don't have to fight a physical fight. We just have to be smarter than all the idiots out there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to vote in person. We're going to lock in that vote so that some illegal immigrant can't take your voting information and do it themselves. Because the Dems are going to sit back and go, we can't make up addresses. We can't make up social security numbers, because when this is all brought before Congress or some inquiry, we'll be found out. No one's going to want to put their name to it. I will ask you this in closing. I have an email list that helps get all my videos out to people, because they take the like button off of some and all that stuff, the subscribe button they're messing with and all that kind of stuff. If you would consider subscribing to the newsletter, it's free. And there's some things that I'm going to be doing off platform where I invite you through the newsletter to go do webinars, AMAs, all that kind of stuff about specific things that, quite frankly, will just get shot down here. If you wouldn't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. The Economic Ninja is out.